EVO Japan. I had a great time. If you look through my media, it's mostly just food. It's just me eating. Also, can I just say about this? Big Bird gets all the credit for making this popular, but I knew about this because fighting game people were eating this since like 2016. Yeah, he's a content vulture. You can find a picture of me eating this on Instagram in like 2017 or something. A couple of things about EVO Japan. Let's just start from the top. I popped in Thursday. We had a rehearsal that was in the venue, which is Tokyo Big Sight. I don't know who works at EVO Japan. There's a guy there that needs to be taken out back. It's the guy that did the audio check, okay? We were sitting in the venue to do our rehearsal, probably about an hour. And there was an audio engineer guy who was sound checking the mic, like the one that was hot to the whole venue. And he just went, ha, 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 ho, 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 ha, he, ha, ha, for an hour. This is not a joke. And it was so loud that we couldn't hear anything else. Like Hanzo was like 4 feet away from me trying to be like, okay, so when the show opens, it's going to be this, and then you're going to do this. And then during top eights, this is like the flow. And the guy's just fucking ha 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 hoing into the microphone. I couldn't believe it that it was an hour of him making the same noise into the mic. I was like, after 20 seconds, you know the mic works. And as Hanzo Gonzo finished his last sentence, he's like, all right, guys, so if you have any questions, let me know. Tasty Steve walked into the venue. But dude, he's like, I'm here, guys. What up? Is it going well? And then they were like, all right, well, we'll tell you what happens on the side. So then I left. That was my Thursday. And I could already tell by walking into the venue that it was going to be hot at EVO Japan. It was empty in there. There was like less than 100 people in that venue. And it was already warm. You know, I was doing this a lot. And they were like, oh, don't worry. It's because the AC's not on today. Like today's setup day. It'll be on tomorrow. And I remember just looking at the person who told me that and being like, I don't believe you. So the next day I walk into the venue. It is sweaty. It is so hot in there. It was like 75 and rainy and humid outside. And I would have had to step outside to get any relief from the venue. It was just hot. There's people everywhere. It's just so gross in there. 2 years ago was when the Gamer Mist happened. And it was in Tokyo Big Sight, the very same venue. Last year, it was in Ariake, like the EX, OD, gym, whatever it was. That place was like a newer building and like air conditioned, and it was like really cool, even though it was like pretty packed. But this year's venue, it's so hot, man. Like it was just so nightmarish. This place is bigger. It really needed that space to accommodate all the extra Street Fighter players there were this year. But boy, it was rough. The thing I'll say about it too, this EVO Japan, to me, felt a lot like EVO Vegas in terms of what they were trying to aim for. What I described it as is like, you know, when you go to Vegas and there's like the Eiffel Tower there, and you're like, hey, that's the Eiffel Tower. Not really, but like, you know, they're trying to get me most of the way there. They're evoking a feeling. EVO Japan is kind of like the Vegas Eiffel Tower of EVO Vegas. It's like EVO Vegas in parentheses hot and smaller. It's warm. As you can see, it's just a sea of people. Like there's so many people. This is Friday, by the way. So this is it's still a work day. This isn't even like the busiest day. Now, one thing about Unika, Unika's on the left right here. She's not that close to the Strive area, and she's kind of where like the vendor booths are. So she's not in a very busy zone, which was actually very nice because it meant I got to play Unika a couple times. This is where Elena is. Smack dab in the tournament area. In fact, Street Fighter casuals are literally right here. So her zone was really busy and really hot. And I was like, oh, man. When I walked to Elena, I ran into Knuckle-Doo. Knuckle-Doo was like collapsed on a table, kind of laying down in the middle of the tournament zone. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? And he's like, oh, dude, I didn't even know you're here. What up? And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I gotta go play in there. And he just gestures towards like the zone. There are so many fans in Japan. Somebody's trying to play on a setup. There's 2 people there. And then there's 100 people around them trying to watch on every setup. So you can imagine how hot it is in a venue that's already like 80 degrees, 85 degrees. And then he like looks and he's like, I'm not even tall enough to see over all these people like where it is. He's like, oh, you're taller than me. Can you see where my thing is? I got to go to 207 or whatever. And I'm like, looking around over all these humans, and I'm like, you're over there somewhere. And he's like, all right. And I watched him like wading through all these people to try to make it to his thing. That was him going to play his matches. And it's true, I never saw him again after that. This is what the seating area looks like. And as you can see, this is the seating area in the front. It's Friday, so it's still pretty empty. In front of each of these screens, including the main screen, was one of the first great evils of EVO Japan. These chairs were not open seating. You're like, wait, the ones in front of the main stage and the ones in front of all of the staging on the side? Yeah, you have to buy VIP seating to sit here. These 3 stages back here where all the semis were happening, and these seats here were empty for like most of the weekend. And people stood against the barricade back here to watch the top 8. Even worse, the seating, the ticketed seating, you could not buy on site. Yeah, this is definitely not an EVO in parentheses main EVO kind of decision. This is this is a Japanese thing for sure. Tekken and the other games and stuff, a lot of these seats were just empty the whole time. Because I think the Street Fighter fans bought the VIP tickets to go watch Street Fighter, but that meant during the other games, there's just like no one there and like no one was sitting in the seats. This is so bad. It made the event look really bad on camera, I think on a lot of camera angles, and it made it really suck on Sunday when you were trying to like watch the matches. There was just no place to sit really, and instead you'd have to like stand against the barricade back here while all of these empty chairs exist. As you can see, the Street Fighter fans bought some tickets, right? Even they're sitting on the floor here because there's not enough seats, and then people are on the barricade. Tekken 8's strongest soldier. This is what the Tekken side looked like. As you can see here, there's some Tekken people, but really it's mostly empty. This is what it's like to watch the semis. This sucks, man. I think like a lot of the places, it would have been so much easier to move in and out of if there was like seats for people. Because so many people just had to walk around or crowd around things because there was just like nowhere to sit. And it didn't seem like the AC was on, especially for Friday. I think maybe Saturday it was a little cooler. They hooked us up with the oldest tech known to mankind. So this is Tekken Top 8, the classic white rotating fan. We had 3 or 4 of these bad boys locked and loaded. I'm in the venue. It's like 85 and muggy. Then I got a little white fan like this pointed right at my face, right? Because I'm sitting where Obama's sitting. So my eyeballs are insanely dry. Like I'm blinking because I like can't see from the fan. And then the venue's hot, so I'm sweating. Yeah, so when I popped the Roto Z on commentary, it was dual purpose. It wasn't just because I had resorted to physical comedy because there was a 45-minute delay during grand finals because of the console. It was because I actually just couldn't see because the fan was beating me up so bad. We should have moved these to the PS5s on stage instead of us because they needed it more than us, that's for sure. But yeah, the event itself was it was fun. The event had a lot of great matches and there was a lot of cool things to see and mess around with in the venue. It was just like way too hot, and the seating section meant that everything was way more packed than it even needed to be, which leads us to our next thing about EVO Japan. If you watch any of the grand finals or any of the top 8s, the last 3 in particular, right, Strive or Tekken or Street Fighter, they all had like problems because the consoles were getting too hot. And you guys have watched a lot of fighting game tournaments before. The PS5 is not a great console tournament. We all know this, right? But can you remember a time where there was this many problems? I haven't seen it this bad in a while, where it affects literally every finals. The outlier is probably that this venue was so fucking hot. I do remember that one. There was a tournament in like EU somewhere where they were like putting fans on the PS5 and shit because it was overheating. In venues where it's already cold, the console already needs to be cycled in and out and stuff, right? But when you have a place that's already this hot to begin with, there's just no hope of this thing working. And I know that in one of the cases, they like swapped the console and then immediately had an issue. The venue was too hot for a console that already doesn't do well in a tournament environment, and it was just like impossible. We even had like the screen go out on us, and we commentated through that by using Spencer ran out and zoomed in on the big stage camera and zoomed in on the screen, and like he was just like adjusting, and we made do with all that nonsense. But the console issues in finals were like really, really bad. Imagine sticking a bunch of PCs into that place too. I think they would have even maybe got too hot. The venue was just so hot. Like, I don't know how you can not expect problems to happen. Yeah, I think AC in Japan just seems like it's premium. Like they don't want to AC it up like that. Besides that, like all the matches and stuff were awesome. I have thoughts about Tekken. I feel like seeing people's response to this new patch, I have thoughts about Tekken players, man. But like the Tekken matches at EVO Japan, I thought were quite fun to watch. To me, there's 2 problems with it. One, obviously we couldn't have players from Pakistan, which is like a shame, right? That sucks. But the second thing is the announcement. Dude, Michael Murray and Harada got on stage looking like the saddest 2 motherfuckers in Japan. They got on stage and they're like, hey guys, it's us. They never have looked so sad. And then they announced Falcomrom, and I was like, no wonder you guys look so sad. Oh man. I was like on my way to the venue when they announced it. Me and Emily were about to leave, and then the thing dropped. And I was like, oh, it's Falcomrom. And Emily just turned and looked at me with like the sourest look on your face. And she was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, yep. There he is. Yeah, people like Bruce more, but they're just stuck with this guy. Like, I don't know, Falcomrom's just happening. They're just doing it. The excitement continues with season 2. was cracking me up. This is insane, by the way. Imagine going up there and being like, you guys hype about Tekken, everybody's good at season 2, Karate Kid Legends. Like, oh, it cracks me up. Hashtag rev it up. Hashtag karate it up. This Pac-Man thing's kind of cool. This stage is a lot though. It's one of the only like floor break stages in this game too, right? There's not that many. Hashtag pack it up. Yeah, this is a cool looking stage. I agree. The Pac-Man hit effects is pretty funny. People are definitely feeling some kind of way. I saw that they showed that heat burst activation takes half your heat gauge here as well. Yeah, it was a Tekken ball thing, which is really funny. So I saw this and I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, hopefully they have a good character announcement, you know, get people hyped. But then this happened. When it cut to the stage, I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And then this shit. As soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh, it's Fakumram. Oh my god. And there's not even a gameplay trailer. Oh man. Hashtag fuck it up. Fuck it up. I don't like Fakumram, man. I think he's very whatever. I mean, he came out and was so busted. I remember watching that tournament in Korea during COVID. I watched like 6 Fakumram mirrors in a row. It's not even an exaggeration. And yeah, it is very funny that they announced 3 balance patches in a row. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to be doing a balance patch every 5 minutes. We got one now, one May, one June, one... I was like, oh my god. Hashtag fuck it up. This is going to be Marduk, huh? And then this shit's going to be Clive too. The problem with Fakumram is like, I think he's universally agreed almost that he is the worst possible character announcement you could have. Like, the timing is just so brutal. Imagine this shit is Fakumram, Kunimitsu and Marduk, Devil, Reina. I mean, Fakumram is whack. The other stuff about it looks cool. And the patch looks good though, doesn't it? Like, they nerfed tons of stuff and they like toned down so many egregious things. The patch seems like it's a really good step in the right direction. I cannot believe how mad Tekken fans are. Think about it like from the perspective of someone who plays Strive. Like, a lot of people were mad about season 4 for Strive, and then they did like an emergency patch, and then they just kind of vanished. But like Tekken, they emergency patch, and then they're like, our bad, we're gonna do like 4 more patches until we fix everything. We are so sorry about everything that happened. And like, Tekken fans are still so pissed. The more I like look at the way Tekken fans talk about the game, the more I'm convinced that they might be like the whiniest group of people. And I don't say that because of season 2. I say that like, since I've like paid attention to Tekken, even early Tekken 7, before Tekken 7 came out, I cannot think of a time where like they weren't just so annoyingly upset and whiny about stuff. And I understand the current situation. The current situation, sure. But the thing about Tekken is they're all old. Like, they're all like 30, 40, you know, plus people. And they're just so old and whiny. Like, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, calm down. Like, I get it. I get it that it's currently especially very bad. But like, man, I'm wishing them the best of luck though, because if I saw this, I would probably be as pissed as them. If Street Fighter 6 was like, season 3, here comes a new challenger, and then they fucking add like EX throw loops, and then Abigail's the first character they announce, boy, I'll tell you what, I would be like, Shin Nakali as the second, and Mega El Fuerte, I'd be like, okay, all right, hold on. They also showed this. I didn't watch this live. I don't even know when they announced this on the show floor. Like, I didn't even see this. Did they just only put this online? I didn't see this when it got live, when it was live. Oh, the direct, I see. This game, I mean, this game looks cool. I can't lie. Like, this game looks sick. Visually, Ganondorf. The wrestling walkout is pretty sick. He does look like a hobgoblin. He looks like Shadows of Mordor when they're like, this guy got promoted to captain. Like, you got to go take this guy out. It's telling you all of his traits in Shadow of Mordor. Like, that's what he looks like to me. But the game looks visually, it looks really good. I'm like super interested to see what this game looks like. I can't wait because Virtua Fighter, like, we don't know a lot about the new game yet, right? Like, I don't know who's going to be interested in this. Like, that's a new player. They'll probably draw in some, but it's just like such an old franchise to come back. I've always kind of been interested in dabbling with VF just because like Tasty Steve will not shut up about how sick VF is. And getting into VF5 now for me is like a pretty like, this game's been out for so long. So VF6 is like, I want to dabble. I want to like learn it just enough to be a fan and watch it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty interested in VF6 for that reason. Then there was this. I thought she was going to be like a zoner. She's got a staff. She does rock magic. Right? I was like, okay, they're going to add like a zoner. Like she's a mage zoner character or whatever, right? Not at all. This is actually, they're making a character literally for all of you. She's a grappler. She has command grabs. They look sick too. Like the animations on these, I don't know what you even call them. Like these magic grab earth arms things. She has, that's like an air grab. It's falling sky. She has like a jumping grab, it looks like. This super is sick. She looks awesome. Like I was really surprised. The non-fancy super. She drops a rock on your head.
Show me more of your harmonious bond. I support.
She looks fun. I'm surprised that this is how she plays, to be honest with you. Wall bounce.
Won't claim me yet. All are welcome to receive.
These moves look really good. The way the hands look, yeah, she looks awesome. I mean, visually, I think Granblue looks incredible, right? Like it's one of those games that looks incredibly good. The music is great, the soundtrack is great, the characters are fun. Yeah, I think it's $8 if you buy her a la carte. Otherwise, if you have the season pass, she's whatever. Yeah, they already do have Kag. That's true. Kag is a rock throwing character that's a zoner. Then I'm sure a lot of you saw Unika over the weekend, in parentheses real. This is the Unika trailer that they showed before top 8. This is her intro. Insane. How is this her intro? How is that her intro? She does the Akira slide at the end. She looks awesome. I saw so many Guilty Gear fans who were mad that she didn't have a full trailer here. They're like, oh my God, you guys are just gonna pretend the leak never happened. I'm like, brother, you understand. The leak happened like 2 days before they played this trailer. Do you not realize that like they probably didn't have a trailer ready expecting her to leak? Yeah, they also don't want to spoil the anime and like what she does in it. I mean, I'm sure some of you, if you want to see stuff about this character, there's like a big leak that happened. However, I'm not going to be watching any of that footage on stream or anything. I got to play her at EVO Japan because she was playable there. There's some pretty important spoilers. I mean, listen, if you watch the anime at all, like I watched the first episode and I already was like, oh, I think I know what her backstory is. And I'm not even a lore person. And if you didn't watch the anime, then you probably don't care, and you'll see when she's in the game anyway. Not talking about other ways that people have access to this character, only talking about her on the show floor. She feels like Abba in that she is carrying a really heavy weapon. Like her grounded move speed is like, it's fine. It's like not bad or anything. Her air movement is very heavy. She definitely feels like she's carrying that big ass bike. Her normals feel like they're actually pretty decent. And one of the things about them that I liked was that she has follow-ups on her S and H normals, right? So when she does like far slash slash or 2SS or 5HH or 2HH, she like does a follow-up off of it. And the follow-ups, like the 2SS or 5HH or 2HH, are special cancelable. She has Greed Sever, which is an overhead, and you can't combo off of it naturally. It's like a hard knockdown unless you enhance it. She has like ways to enhance it. She also has Stun Dipper. That is a low. She has one of the weirdest normals in Guilty Gear. She has a 6H that does nothing. She just like does this. She does like that. And I thought it was like a parry or something. But if you hit 6H, she shoots a full screen beam that like guard crushes. I'm pretty sure it's a guard crush anyway. That's how she is with a bunch of stuff too, by the way. She has like 2 projectiles that like go full screen. She has like fun feeling normals, fun feeling specials. She has like pretty decent like zoning moves. She's probably got like mix is my guess because she has overhead and low specials. And with meter when they're enhanced, it's probably 50-50. The other thing is like her 2H is really cool. She like does a swipe up like that. And then the 2HH, she goes like and like fucking fires the gun up in the air. That shit is so cool. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play this character. So there's a pretty high chance that my characters will be her and Sin. Not only that, but her color 1. This is color 1. She's basically wearing denim. Yeah, she has a DP as well. She's playable the Tuesday after her CB. We were like looking at the colors, and then we went to lock in Unika, and before the game even started loading, they set a 5-minute timer down on the table. And when that shit beeps, you gotta get up. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a match or what. They're like 5-minute timers, set that shit down before the bird. And they're like, all right, there you go. I saw people say that she is like too much of like a fan fiction character. Maybe you think her super is fan fiction. But the rest of her, like, it's just normal, like, question mark. You know how I am. Like, when Street Fighter had the crack, I didn't play it because I was like, I can't play against other humans normally. So, like, what's the point of playing it? Same thing with the Fatal Fury crack. I don't care, man. Like, I'm not interested. And same thing with the Strive leak. I mean, this one is especially bad. The cracks are not the same level even as this. These, like, I would want to stay away from it at all. People who are downloading this shit and then posting full clips and shit to social media are insane to me. Somebody like broke in and stole this shit and then you're just downloading it and posting footage with no shame. Like, just like, yeah, this is chill. But yeah, she's cool. I'm a fan. The other thing to talk about that's probably pretty important is that Elena was not a character that people talked about basically at all at EVO Japan. I didn't get a chance to play her because the lines were incredibly long. Most people, I get the sense, don't care that much about Elena. She's not a popular character. It's just me and like Mena. There's like, there's 3 of us. It's probably one more, Galtu. But there was some changes to the system. People were freaking out about parry being different. Basically, when you perfect parry in the game, there's a screen freeze on all non-projectiles. Now, they're saying to get that screen freeze, you have to parry the correct way. So if someone does a low, you need to hold down back and parry the low holding down back. If someone does a mid attack, you need to hold back in the correct direction to get the freeze. This does a couple of things, right? Because this also buffs left, right, overhead, low mix-ups. So my question is like, when you do the bad perfect parry, what's the frame advantage like? Is it the same as always, but it just doesn't have the freeze? The other thing is Elena does not have a throw loop that people found, like a regular throw loop mid-screen. And I think they found that in the corner, somebody said that in the corner if she drive rushes, she has one, but then I saw, I don't know, there was conflicting reports. It could be that throw loops are still in the game, but like Elena just doesn't have one. Or is it that they removed throw loops from most characters? Who knows? It's hard to say. Only Elena was playable. So it's really kind of nebulous. It could be that throw loops are completely gone. It could be that some characters have them. It could be that just Elena doesn't have them and that they're the same overall despite that. Who can say? If throw loops are gone, then nerfing perfect parry a bit doesn't surprise me, because how do you gain offense in Street Fighter 6, the video game, right? Generally, you need to spend drive gauge. If you're spending drive gauge, that means it's susceptible to parry, and throw is the great equalizer. And the more you have to spend, the more favorable it is for the defender if they survive, because like if you do button in a drive rush and you spend 3 bars, now you're down half your drive gauge. If they force you to block a heavy, or like they get offense on you and they do a super and then they strip your drive gauge, then you're down on meter and yada yada, right? And if they nerf throw loops and like make throws a lot weaker, perfect parry as it currently is would be really powerful, right? I mean, it already is insanely powerful. If you watch top 8 at all, I think parry is like way more powerful in game warping than throw loops are. And it's like not close. But throw loops are really easy to do. Perfect parry is insane. It's very safe for a parry, and you can do it constantly, and you can OS it constantly. You can like block and then perfect parry attempt and then OS that with drive rush or not, like basically every time. It also covers left and right and overheads and lows. It parries projectiles, right? So it does everything. It's so strong. So I'm not surprised that they're changing parry, because it's like really powerful. They tried to attack parry a while ago, right? You guys probably remember that. Perfect parry into back throw got nerfed a little bit, and like doing combos that like strip drive gauge got nerfed. I think that this is probably like a fair change if they are nerfing throw. I mean, fighting games obviously have like a very tenuous balance with this, right? In the sense that like you guys have been paying attention, I'm sure, to this discussion lately where people complain that Tekken is like way too aggressive, way too fast, and like defense is not powerful enough in this game. Then I think people have the opposite feeling about like the last test of 2XKO. And I've heard it also about Fatal Fury as well. Like I think Fatal Fury's defense is like really powerful compared to the offense. I mean, if watching Fatal Fury, like how the fuck are you going to hit Xiaohai? Like what do you have in that game to kill him? That guy is playing Hotaru, doing third strike Chun heavy punch, and just like, I don't know how you kill him. Like, I don't know how you hit him. He's going to like just defend OS and then just like escape and then go back to neutral and then throw fireballs and then hit heavy punch at you. I was like, I don't know how you're gonna kill this guy. He's just gonna chill. And Street Fighter 6, I think, is leaning towards the offense being probably more powerful than defense, although I don't think overwhelmingly so. If you watch something like EVO Japan and Capcom Cup, to me, the defensive mechanics of the game strike me as like very powerful. It's how like Kakudu stands there and perfect parries everything and then kills you. And like Mena versus Ryukichi, the big swings were not just offensive sequences. It was primarily from perfect parry and defensive things slowing you down. The game pace of Street Fighter 6 right now is really fun to play and watch generally. I think if the game slows way down, I will not be having as much fun probably playing and watching it. My favorite thing about Street Fighter 6 was watching Momochi's bunk ass Mai. Like he kept picking Mai, losing and swapping to Ed and winning. That was like his whole tournament. He would just job with Mai and then land 7 dream combos and then win. The big problem Momochi had actually was Kobayan in top 8. I mean, also, by the way, 2 Zangiefs in top 8 of the tournament. The tweet from Fudo where he says Ed Zangief is useless. Maybe it's even, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zangief's winning. Zangief players are just like mega down players, man. They're not going to tell you that he's good into any character that has like a tool that goes like far at all. If you have a crouching medium kick that's cancelable, Zangief players are going to be like, oh yeah, he loses. Also, last thing that got announced while I was gone. Did you guys see this? This feels targeted at one specific reply girl on Twitter who mains Lucio. Dude. What do you mean Overwatch is getting Street Fighter skins before Street Fighter? I saw that like the lead hero designer or balance guy or whatever was like a Blanca player who like made it out of pools at EVO Japan. He was there. Cammy as Widowmaker. It's because they're both the ass characters, right? Is that why? Cammy with the gun is killing me, actually. That shit made me laugh. Do I play Overwatch? I dabbled. When the game came out, I played until my friends stopped playing. But my fiance is an addict, so.
Here comes a new challenger.
Of course, Kiriko. The Zenyatta Dalsum is sick, by the way. Sigma Bison. This is... yeah, this feels very targeted. Yeah, it is funny though that there's no Street Fighter 6 characters. It's like all Street Fighter 2 characters except for Juri, who's Street Fighter 4. But like, I think Juri is as popular as Chun-Li and Cammy to them now. Like, she's that level. I think Luke's pretty close, but I think it's just Juri. And honestly, to be honest, I think almost Mai. I think most people think about Mai as like a Street Fighter character now, and she's like that popular. I think it's like Mai. Mai is like the most popular character in the game, straight up. So she's like really simple and good, and she looks like how she does. That combo of factors is kind of hard to beat, you know?